Hey guys, Simon here. Time for devlog number 6. So I've decided to change the way I'm going to present my devlogs now. I'm going to focus more on the actual content and the features rather than you watching me code, because I know the majority of you are not coders and you're more interested in knowing what's going to happen in the game and what are the things you can do. So before you start watching, guys, if you prefer, go watch the video number 1 if you haven't. I put a small part at the start to tell you to come to watch the video number 6. But there's a nice gameplay video there if you were interested in knowing what is going on with the game. So it could be nice to start with the first one. Alright, so last time that we left off, we were working on the actual UI for upgrading your troops. If I go in the game, for example, here, just know I want to show you what I did real fast. Well, you know what? Rather than doing this, I'm just going to show you inside the game much faster. If we can load, there you go, base camp. So you go to the base camp, you're here, you're super happy, and you go talk to this skeleton here, and voila. So now you have a it's not that pretty, but at least it's something. So you have some kind of UI so where you can upgrade your troops. It took me pretty much 2 hours to make sure that everything was working correctly and that it was working also with a controller, because as you know, as you may know from the other previous devlogs, that I want this game to be played with a controller as well as the mouse. So you gotta make sure that everything is set up for both. So you can select whichever unit you want to upgrade. For now we don't see the actual numbers, but I'll remedy to that in the next ones. Next devlogs, and we can close this if we like, or if we just move away from the guy. Oh no, actually never mind, I I canceled that the other time. You can't move while you're in this menu, so there you go. Alright, so this guy, as you can see, he doesn't do anything except showing me output menu for magic skills, so we'll work on that in the future devlogs. But I wanted to show you the actual menu, and if we check a little bit here, how I did this, we're going to go to skeleton blacksmith, which is a script taking care of my stuff. So I'm going to maybe repeat myself, but maybe for the other people who haven't seen the last devlog, basically you have a bool taking care of your close enough to the actual guy, so you're watching the distance if it's under a certain distance. So if the distance between the player X, notice that my game there's no Y values, so I always put 0. It's just I want the distance to be calculated only according to the X and not the Y. Sometimes you have sprites that are not at 0 on the Y, so you prefer to, it's better to just put 0. So I check if it's under interact list. If it is, yes. If it's not, then don't interact. If it's interactable and you click the submit button, which is E or the gamepad's 0, and you have the upgrade troops window not activated, so you haven't already opened it, well, you're gonna open the menu for the upgrade troops, so you set it active, and then I turn it off. You know, say I turn it off and I turn it back on. This is just to reset its animator, so that if you're like, for example, closing it and then there's a problem somewhere and the actual animation doesn't work, well, doing this will just make it back to default, which is by default the open animation. So you go like tell it it's activated, and you'll see here I put something crazy: event system current get component set blah blah blah. Basically, I need to do this every time because since I'm using a controller, I gotta tell the program to actually choose a button. Otherwise, it's gonna wait for my mouse to enter on the button, which we don't want, because if we play with controller, there's no mouse. So you gotta select a first button by default, and you actually need to set it to be selected. So you say the event system is the current button, so that you can start moving with the controller inside the menu. As I said when I was showing you guys, I tried to move and it didn't work because I put this last time, pc.inBasecamp menu. So I put a bool in my controller, which basically says you can, well, I have a script here that you can move inside of the base camp. At first I didn't have this, okay? So I was just like this. So as I was in the base camp, I could move left and right, you know, super simple. But I forgot to put a bool to check if I was in the menu. So I would navigate the menu with my controller, but I would move outside of the range of the guy, so it would close the menu, which didn't make much sense. So that's why I added this. That's it for the menus. I also did a bunch of changes for where you're gonna give your stats to the actual units. So I believe I might have talked about this in the last devlog. I might repeat myself, but I'm not sure. So I did put like one modifier here that you're gonna check when you place the unit if there's a modifier for the attack, which basically upgrades when you're clicking on the buttons. If you go in like the skeleton blacksmith here, there's a function here that says upgrade attack, and if you click that one, you're going to go GM unit stat modifier. So the database where you keep the modifiers, it's going to go +1, so this will be used for changing the stats. And that's pretty much it. So for what I did from last time that you guys watched the devlogs, it was just a day ago, so you can't expect me to have like a ton of features, I guess. But next time I expect to have a bit more, maybe work on actual levels. I can give you maybe a sneak peek of what I will do next is when I go in the enemies, the prefab enemy units. Nope, not enemy units, enemy buildings. I was working on a tower here. We're going to see view. So I was working on a tower. As you can see, there's already a base controller that spawns units. Right now it's at nothing to spawn, but I was going to have it spawn I'm going to do it right now, a squire here. There you go. It's a beautiful squire, which is, by the way, this guy. Okay. So he's just a regular guy who just runs at you and attacks you, and he say "La!" when he attacks you. It's super funny, like "Ah!" Here you go. So you can see it's my voice. I'm doing everything. So yeah, you'll hear me a bunch of times while playing this game. So yeah, you're gonna summon this guy from like I can show you guys, I guess. Enemy buildings, tower 1. So I have a base controller script which has a specific unit spawn script they have, which has like a unit to spawn, so you can have many units to spawn. But if for every unit to spawn, you get another menu. Like if oh no, maybe not. Never mind. I'll do it after. So you spawn. Oh no, there it is. I have to upgrade this one. Yes. So you can have many different type of units that your buildings can spawn, not just one at a time. So there's a spawn limit. So can you spawn? How many can you spawn at the same time? How many can you have active at the same time? And here max spawn number basically is after like you spawn like for example 5. Well, you're gonna stop spawning. Basically, you're gonna just be a building standing there and getting hit by your units. So this way, they're like maybe you're having trouble killing the enemies, but eventually, even if you have trouble, you'll know that there's a limit to the number of spawns that there can be. So even if you're struggling, if you just have one unit left, you can still manage to destroy the building because you'll know that the building stopped spawning. So there's a spawn timer here. Limited spawn means that if you're checking this, there's a limit. So like for example this one, well, even if the timer is under 0, if there's already one active squire, it's not going to spawn another one. So the player doesn't get overwhelmed by this. Spawn unit is just checking for the number of units that it has spawned. There's this here. I talked a bit in my other devlog, but I'm going to maybe explain it further. Basically, I was playing the game the other day, and I noticed that when there was a building like this, especially like for the boss that I set up, I put the boss like at the door, but my units would just stop like far enough to be able to attack the building, but not the boss. So they would constantly keep firing at the building, and the building would eventually crumble, and the boss would just stand there and doing nothing and just watching his stuff burn basically. So I added this part where basically when you're getting activated, you're checking if you have things that you want to also activate, and you're going to activate those as well. So you're going to tell the paladin to, hey dude, I'm getting attacked, do something. All right. And distance to enable is just checking like the closest enemy, like the closest unit you have, is it in a certain distance? And if it is, well, activate the building and start spawning units, because you don't want the building to start spawning units when it's on the opposite side of the map. That would be pretty crazy. So yeah, what is the plan for next time? Basically, what I want to do is create some kind of archer that would be sitting at the top of the actual tower. I used to have a enemy archer. I already have the script made, but you'll see the archer sprite I was using is doesn't really work with the actual sprites that I use, like the size and the way it's made. It doesn't really work. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go like the guy is going to be behind the tower, and he'll just shoot at the player units. For now, it sounds simple to do, but you'll see maybe in the other devlog I'm going to talk about how I do my script for my arrows and projectiles, because they're for now they're not affected by gravity. I just do it via script. Like I do a curve, and it tells like there's a place where you want to land, and you have to do a certain curve before you go hit that place. But it's not that beautiful, and it doesn't look really like affected by gravity and such. So I might rework on that and really use the rigid body system, and this way I can use it to do other things, cool things like pushback and stuff like this. So I'm gonna have to rework on that a little bit. So that's what you're gonna see probably in the other devlog if you keep on watching. So we'll stop here for today. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the new format for the devlog. If you have questions, if you'd like to see specific things, don't hesitate. I always answer to you guys all the time. If I see a comment, I'm going to answer it as soon as I see it. So don't hesitate, and leave a like if you're interested. And also don't forget to follow me, follow my channel if you want to be aware of future devlogs. I'm going to try to do it daily if I can. But if I can't, it'll be at least one. There'll be at least one per week for sure. And I'll try to do it daily as much as I can. All right. So I'll catch you next time, guys. Take care. Bye bye.